So I hear you're an avid hunter and you're looking for an EnviroCam, hey? I think DHP Industries might have you covered. Since 1999, DHP Industries has been the world leader in production of the EnviroCam. They have recently released their 2021 version of the EnviroCamera, and we're going to show you just how in depth they went with this process. They knocked it out of the park. Alright guys, so the first thing we're going to be looking at is the code, our Python code from our Thani window on our Raspberry Pi. So basically what we do here first off is we import our proper data from our libraries. And basically these are all the things that we have included in our EnviroCam. So we have the Pi camera, we have multiple LEDs, we have a button, we have a buzzer, a motion sensor, light sensor, distance sensor, and we need to import sleep as well. Furthermore, we have an introduction on the EnviroCamera screen stating that DHP Industries EnviroCamera is the people who produce this. Then it prints our intro for us. It says, "Welcome to the camera main menu." Next, we assign our variables. And when we assign our variables, we basically pin out all of our hardware. So the GPIO pins that I've used for each specific button or LED, motion sensor, distance sensor have all been wrote out here. Then we create our first while loop, a conditional loop. Basically starts up the process. It starts from the beginning. It prompts the user to input their ID and password, states that the account is activated and the system is active searching for motion. At this point, we have motion is sensed and it needs to be sensed for 3 seconds. This is what actually causes the process to continue. So we see the buzzer beep and the LED blink during night mode. The camera is active and starts preview. From there, basically what we see after every single picture is taken, we see picture being taken after, obviously, the rangefinder determines that the motion is in range. From there, we see print, press reset to save your pictures, and this is what ends the process and brings us back to the beginning. So we basically hit a reset button and basically tells us that 4 photographs were captured by the camera, scanning pictures, printing all photos, system beginning restart, EnviroCamera shutdown. Thank you for using DHP Industries EnviroCamera, and then it prints our introduction. Alright, the second process we're going to look at is the flow chart for a DHP Industries EnviroCamera. So what happens is at the start, we import our GPIO functions, and basically we're prompted with a welcome to DHP Industries. The user will have to then input what is their user ID and password, and the camera then becomes active if they put the correct password and user ID in. If not, it will bring you back to the start. Then the camera begins to search for motion. When the motion is detected, the range is then output. If the motion is in range, then both the LED flash and the buzzer will sound. If not, loop will begin again. Searching for motion, motion detected, output range is motion in range. After our LED and buzzer sound, the photo is taken. Then we're prompted with, is more storage available? If yes, it goes back to searching for motion. If not, it's going to send us to camera must be reset. The user will then have to reset the camera and be prompted, thank you for using DHP Industries, which will end the process. That is DHP Industries EnviroCamera fritzing model. So in this fritzing model, we have the inclusion of a motion sensor, a rangefinder, a buzzer, LDR light sensor, 2 buttons, and 2 LEDs ran off resistors. So the motion sensor is ran off 5 volts of power hooked up to our ground and GPIO 18 in my situation. Our rangefinder is ran off 5 volts of power hooked to the ground, echo GPIO pin of 23, and trigger GPIO pin of 24. Our LDR is ran off 5 volts of power, hooked to the ground, and ran off GPIO 17. My LED lights both use resistors and are ran off GPIO pin 5 and 6. My start button is ran off GPIO 21 and hooked to the ground. My reset button is ran off GPIO pin 20 and the ground. My buzzer is hooked up to GPIO 22 and the ground. And finally, my Pi camera, which is not documented, is hooked up to my Raspberry Pi. Alright guys, so here's a quick video of how the DHP Industries Enviro camera runs. First we'll hit run. We'll hit start. Now we need to input our user ID. Then I'm going to input my password. Now the system is shutting down, taking the 4 pictures that we just received. This is what we get. And there's our process. DHP Industries Enviro Camera Compiler window. So we see that this is what we are introduced with. Big letters. Welcome to the camera main menu. Press button to begin. The startup will begin. This is my user ID, DHP Industries. My password, integer of 1709. System begins searching for motion. Motion is detected for 3 seconds. Tells us how many yards away it is. Pictures taken. Then we have the press to reset the save pictures and restart device. Tells us how many photographs were taken. We caught 4 photographs. Printing photos, system beginning restart, Enviro camera shut down, and thank you for choosing DHP Industries. And as we can see down below, our startup begins again. So after viewing this behind the scenes work, it is clear cut why DHP Industries holds a monopoly in the EnviroCam market. Happy hunting.